This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be hearing new music from Manchu and their album Clone of the Universe.
And the latest from Stone Temple Pilots entitled Stone Temple Pilots.
Hello everybody and welcome to Music Worth Buying. My name is Robert Kinsler and I'm a music writer and a musician.
My name is TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
Now this week we're going to be talking about two new albums that we're very excited about. And actually both the albums this week are kind of in the hard rock vein. I think.
I wasn't aware of that till you just said
Okay, well at least my album is.
Okay, mine is that too.
And I've brought in the latest album from Fu Manchu, and this album is called Clone of the Universe. Now, Fu Manchu is very well known to their fans. I mean, they have a pretty hardcore fan base.
Good.
But you know, I'd say to the greater world, even people that, let's say, newer, you know, kind of hard rockin' bands like maybe Greta Van Fleet, or you know, even fans of bands like Rush, or even some of the great kind of hard rockin' bands from the past might not be familiar with Fu Manchu, and they should be. They're a really great band. They're actually from Orange County, California, and they, you know, I'd say their music draws comparisons with maybe Queens of the Stone Age and Black Sabbath.
Okay.
And
that gives me a good
good
starting
kind of
point without having heard anything.
And this is actually the band's 12th album. So if you haven't heard them, you're like, where have they been? You know, and I think once you hear them, I think you and everybody out there, if they like kind of hard rock and stoner rock and stuff, is really gonna like what these guys do. And you know, it's filled with just great riffs. You know, they have something to say in their songs. You know, they kind of deal with some themes. And you know, why don't we listen to the lead track off the album, and then we'll talk about it, about these guys a little bit more.
Yes, let's.
And let's first say the name of the song, right? And that song's called Intelligent Worship, and that's the first track off Clone of the Universe.
Okay. I'm surprised I have not heard of these guys before. 12 years?
Well, 12th album.
12 albums.
I think they've been around. They've been around. Yeah.
12 albums, and I've not heard of these guys, and they're right here in Orange County where I am.
Yeah. The album was actually recorded in Santa Ana.
Wow.
So they're definitely a local group, but I mean they have a national or international presence. So.
This definitely appeals to my inner 16-year-old. Definitely, I like this. Yeah, I can feel the Black Sabbath comparison you're referring to. In fact, when I first heard the opening of his voice, there was a slightly more, I would say, more like a more aggressive, a more growly Ozzy type of voice to him. Not that he sounds like Ozzy, but just more aggressive kind of vibe to it, a little bit of that vibe. Yeah, I dug this.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, no, and you know what I would say is, and Scott Hill is the lead singer, and I think he's been the primary member as far as that's just off my memory here since the beginning. Just he has a lot to say. You know, they deliver these real powerful songs, and these are songs that want to make you shake your head and just get and just move and stuff.
Yeah, and be in the car like this.
You know, and the range here is kind of like I'd say from stoner rock, but there's even one song, and we won't be playing a little bit. It's called "Don't Panic," and that one almost gets into punk rock territory. It's so fast and hard. It almost goes from kind of like the metal into
the
ballads. No ballads. Yeah, that's
no ballads. Right on.
Not in the traditional sense. Anyway, there are some songs. You know, definitely variations in speed and tempos and stuff. And you know, just a great album. And I thought when I got it, I go, you know, you just don't hear a lot of new releases that sound like this, and it made it very fresh. Yeah. Even though maybe it harkens back to the '70s and the '80s. You know. Just a very dynamic.
Definitely 70s in my opinion.
Definitely 70s, yeah.
Before harder, heavier rock got ultra commercialized, before metal got commercialized.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some cool riffing.
Yeah, just great riffs, great wah-wah guitar in there. Just, you know, it's a quartet. And you know,
I like the art.
Yeah, the cover has cool artwork. And let's just, since I mentioned Scott Hill, who's the kind of on lead guitar, because great guitar work is Bob Balch, I think. Hopefully I didn't butcher his name. We'll see. And then on drums and percussion is Scott Reeder. And then on bass is Brad Davis. And these guys just lock in and deliver just across the album. And the album, the audio version, it comes in a standard jewel case. You know, not too fancy. It just comes with has liner notes here, no lyrics and stuff. Although
I'm assuming they're independently, probably, or working with a small label. If they're
probably small label if they're not independent. Yeah,
more than likely. Which means, you know, you can't always afford the
big
most
16
the real
page jackets or booklets.
That type of thing. You have to kind of allow for that. But I do like this artwork.
Yeah, no, really great artwork.
Yeah,
and
I really like that.
And just so people know, I mean, even though they're not the best known band, and I wish they were better known, they obviously have friends in high places, because let's listen to a little of this last track.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if you can figure out who's a guest on it. So let's listen to
singing, playing, what?
Playing.
Playing, okay.
Okay, so a guest musical artist, very well known, someone that we're both a fan of.
Okay.
And this song, maybe we're going to have to put it on the screen. It might be Italian. It's called Il Mostro Atomico. And so it sounds like he's either Spanish or Italian. But anyway, maybe we'll put it on the screen. But let's play a little bit of it, and then we'll all
sounds good.
See who it is.
I'm curious. Let's see if I can figure it out. Okay, I'm stumped. Tell me who the mystery guest star was.
Okay, Alex Lifeson from Rush. So,
all right, cool.
And this piece, and it's
epic.
It's epic. It's more than 18 minutes. So and you're used to maybe something like that live, but I mean on the album it occupies.
It's a jam.
It's a jam.
All instrumental.
And 4 specific sections, all instrumental, very heavy. And it has the band's characteristic sound, but it is neat how they brought Alex in to be a guest on that. So obviously he's a fan of the band. He must be. So I don't think he does too many things like that. So
no, by and large, and he must be a fan if he's like I said, coming out to do this, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So and like I said, I would encourage people to get this album or any of the band's previous albums, kind of discover Fu Manchu and check them out. It's a great album, and I've enjoyed.
Great fuzz rock guitar.
It is. Yeah,
I would describe it just because you can just tell there's a difference between fuzz guitar versus overdrive or distortion. This is just this fuzz rock.
Yeah,
awesome.
and it just great rhythms. Just it hit home and just a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So how about you? What'd you bring in today?
Well, I have a band that I'm sure most people are probably familiar with here. This is Stone Temple Pilots' latest album. It's their second self-titled album, and it's their 7th studio album. And previously they did have a self-titled album prior to this one. Now, I guess one of the reasons why they're going with a self-titled for a second time is this is the first one to feature new lead singer Jeff Gutt. Hopefully I've said that right. It's spelled G-U-T-T. I think I initially pronounced it Gut.
Okay.
When I talked about some of the advanced singles previously on the channel here. And someone said, no, it's pronounced Goot, so hopefully I'm saying that right. And so this is the first album without original singer Scott Weiland, who was fired from the band back in 2013 and died in 2015. There were 4 advanced singles released prior to the actual release of the album. And I remember I reacted very positively to all of them. So I was definitely looking forward to checking out the whole album when it came out. I'm happy to say that all 12 tracks, all killer, no filler, nothing disappointing about any of the tracks. And I picked up the Best Buy version, which has 2 extra bonus tracks as well. Those are just as strong too. So we have here a solid new Stone Temple Pilots album. This album seems to be coming from one of my favorite eras, which is around the time of Purple and Tiny Music. With Core, they were extremely hardcore, very hard and heavy.
Yeah, they were.
Whereas with Purple and Tiny Music, we began to see an evolution where other genres began to influence them, more unique and varied musical instrumentation. combined with them. More of an addition of psychedelic rock, of pop, other influences, coming into it. They would get heavy again on number 4. They went back to their heavier roots on number 4. But this is right from that period, in my opinion. We'll go ahead and play you a track here. This was the track that was actually the first single, and it's called Meadow. I know you haven't heard it yet, so
no, I haven't.
I want to check out your opinion. Here we go. So that's Meadow. That was I think the first single that was released off the album. There have been a lot of comparisons with him to Scott Weiland. You and I did a little experiment. We did a back-to-back comparison.
Right.
We actually listened to 2 classic STP songs with Scott Weiland after we listened to this track here, Meadow. And I think we're both in agreement that while he doesn't sound exactly like Scott Weiland, he's not a sound-alike, he evokes him a great deal.
He does.
He has similar phrasings. Either it comes naturally to him, and there has been some cynical commentary made, they're just getting to sound alike. They're probably telling him to sound like Scott. This guy, I should mention here, was a contestant on one of those singing shows, X Factor.
Okay.
That I remember has brought up some negative commentary. There was an international version of the X Factor series. And to the people who have commented negatively about that, one person even commented on my own channel and said, a TV show, a TV show competition singer, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
I'm no big fan of these shows, American Idol, X Factor, The Voice. I'm not a big fan of these shows. The people who do appear on these shows are talented. They are very good singers. You have to be able to make it into these shows to be an actual finalist, or he was like a runner-up contestant. But I have to say, who knows? Without that show, they may never have found this guy.
That's right. Yeah.
It may not have happened.
Good point.
I'm gonna be less pessimistic and more positive and say that I think this person probably this is why they picked him. He just naturally phrases in a similar way. And I'm going to assume that he's involved in writing the lion's share of the lyrics. Most of this, when I looked, in fact, every single song, when I looked at the credits on the liner notes, every single song is credited to each member of the band, including the new singer. Okay. So, I'm gonna be more on the positive side here and say that it's probably because this is just the way that he phrases. That's what I'm going to say on that. But yeah, he definitely evokes him. Doesn't sound exactly like him. So yeah, naturally this feels like classic Stone Temple Pilots. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up that brief period where Chester Bennington was briefly the lead singer of the Stone Temple Pilots.
I forgot about
where they
that.
did that little EP. Now, like I said, he was a completely different lead singer. The band's dynamic changed completely with that EP that they released. I enjoyed that EP. I was excited about that EP. I thought this is a whole new beginning for Stone Temple Pilots. Sadly, though, Chester Bennington didn't last. Very sad. This band has had some hard luck with their lead singers. Hopefully this time they have a lead singer that is more stable in the psychology department and can stay with them and work with them and help them build. Packaging-wise, this is in a mini vinyl gatefold. There we go.
Nice package and nice photo there, too.
Nice artwork. Nice photo on the interior.
Yeah, it's nicely
and
done.
There is a booklet here enclosed as well. The booklet is nice. The booklet does feature the lyrics. Very nicely printed, easy to read. No difficulty there. And then the liner notes at the end on the back page. Very nicely made, in my opinion.
Yeah, very nice package.
We will play another track, I think, here. And this track is, I'm going to just kind of show some of the range. That was a heavier track. There are tracks heavier than that one, the one I just played. But here is a ballad called I Thought She'd Be Mine.
I thought she'd be mine. Thought she'd be mine. I thought she'd be mine.
And that's my first time hearing this. Thought She'd Be Mine. I really like that, and I'm very impressed by the singer. I mean, the song's obviously good. It's melodic, has a nice original flow. And, you know, two things I want to say, because I didn't have a chance to say, is I did see Stone Temple Pilots twice early in their career. I think right after their big debut came out. They opened for Neil Young, and I happened to catch Neil twice on that tour, and they were opening both times. Very energetic. But then I also saw Scott Weiland, I think, shortly before he passed away. He was actually, I want to say, did a Christmas show in Southern California, and it was very sad. He was so he was so terrible. More than half the audience walked out. Some people were booing. I mean, it was such a tragic thing. I wish. And, you know, it's funny, every time we lose one of these greats in the music industry, people say, God, why couldn't someone save them, whether it's Prince, whether it's Scott Weiland or Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it just goes on. It's so tragic, you know, but I'm glad the band's been able to go on and that they're still tight and they're doing, you know, really great music like this.
They have lost, the band has lost nothing as far as their chops in the songwriting department.
Yeah.
These songs, on this whole album, these songs stand up with the best of what they've done previously during, you know, what I don't want to say their heyday, but during that period of time during the 90s. And I mistakenly in a previous video mentioned, you know, the grunge movement, the Seattle movement, which they did get lumped in with, even though they were from Southern California.
Right, they were.
Or no, was it San Francisco?
Yeah, I know. I want to say Southern California.
Southern
I know
California? Okay.
Scott Weiland, I think, actually attended high school in Huntington Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and I think some of the other band members came from San Diego or something, but I think they are from Southern California. Their roots are Southern California.
They were still aesthetically put in with that.
They were.
And I don't think there was anything wrong with that at all, but that's just how they were put in. And so I did mistakenly refer to them as part of the Seattle sound in a previous video when I talked about the singles. My apologies for that. I meant aesthetically. At least that's my excuse.
Yeah.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Sounds good.
So it works for me. At any rate, though, but yeah, they've lost nothing in the songwriting department. And track per track, even the Best Buy bonus tracks, all of it is solid. Well worth your time and money. The album is going to be released on vinyl soon. It has been available on CD for a couple weeks. I think Amazon has the vinyl for like maybe $5 more than the CD. It's like 15 or so roughly. Whereas most places are selling this for about 10. So if you want the vinyl version, it's going to be out soon. You might just want to wait for that. I was real tempted to wait, but I decided to go with this because of the extra tracks on the Best Buy version. Decided to get that. Who knows? These extra tracks might show up somewhere else at some later date, but at any rate, though. So yeah, definitely check this one out. And thanks for bringing in Fu Manchu. I'm glad to be introduced to them.
Yeah.
Why didn't I know about them sooner?
Yeah, well, I think you're really going to enjoy this album. Yeah, and it's one of the, you know, and I know everyone out there knows what I'm talking about, but there's certain kinds of albums you can be on a road trip.
Yeah.
And you just put this in the CD player or on your MP3 player or whatever, and you just crank it up, and it's just great, you know. I mean, just the beats, the rhythms, the riffs.
So, have you checked out these albums? Let us know if you have or haven't. Are you thinking about checking them out? We want to hear your comments. And as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe or have subscribed, click that bell icon for notifications. And we'll see y'all soon. Take care, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.